Welcome back to another podcast. Thank you for joining us. Today we look at a little more on the ban of the use of engineered stone from July 1 with an interview with industry expert Carl Yench from Europe Imports in Sydney. We take a look at what is going on around the grounds with awards, with a new pool and spa quoting system, long awaited for industry. This is big news. This is good. We also take a look at a few features and items that you need to be aware of out of the new issue 153 Splash magazine. Plenty more on the other side of this. We'll see you there. Let's go. Making chlorinators is what we do at AIS. This laser focus has brought us recognition as a global leader, winning countless international and national awards. Our technology is operating in over 55 countries worldwide. Our claims are backed by university research and data. Our customer testimonials prove the value of our technology's benefits, ease of operation, reliability, and service. Find out how your customers can benefit from our 30 years of innovation and excellence at aiswater.com.au today. Welcome back to another Splash Industry podcast. Great to have you joining me again. Look, exciting times. It's always exciting when the new Splash magazine, issue 153 to be exact, turns up on my doorstep. It is a wonderful moment. I always enjoy going through and reading it, getting the physical copy of the magazine. If you don't get that physical copy you'd like to, or you want to read it online, please get onto splash.online and you'll be able to register for that and get subscribed to keep you up to date. Plenty going on around industry. This new magazine, we're going to run through a little bit of that. We're also going to hear a conversation that I had recently with Carl Yench, a name familiar to some in the industry for sure, particularly New South Wales, from Europe Imports, specialist in stone and tile. Carl talks to us a little bit about the impacts that are happening as of July 1 with the silica response, which we've spoken about in the last podcast. If you want to know more about the specific details around the regulations and the impact of industry on that, do go back to the last podcast. But we talked with Carl about the impact and the validity and the usefulness of the approach that the regulators have taken to ban engineered stone and what the future holds. Is there innovation? Is there new opportunities underway for engineered stone that doesn't present a risk with silica dust? Again, something I am very interested in, given I have a son who is doing an apprenticeship as a tiler. I would like him to have a long and healthy career ahead. So we talked to Carl a little bit later. As always, the statistics from Cordell, look, are these gospel? Absolutely not. Are they indicative? Probably. But they're the best we've got at the moment. And I'd say, well, you're going to be the one with your business and what's going on to best reflect. But the annual pool DAs down 17% overall. Increases still in South Australia, continues to grow. I saw a recent property report in the last few days for Adelaide, absolutely booming. It's just been a consistent, steady little city in the south down there for a long time, but now the attraction towards Adelaide, probably a bunch of Victorians leaving as regulations change there and a whole bunch of issues around taxation and business and investment, but Adelaide becoming very attractive and growing, certainly on their property values industry-wise. That always follows. But the DA numbers over the recent 3 months were down by 13% nationally when compared with the same period last year. I would say in this case, that probably sounds about right. Look, I know you've heard it before, but that is not taking into account the fact that obviously we had the massive boom of 2021, 2022 for demand on our industry that absolutely skyrocketed and saw growth anywhere between 35 and, 135%, again, depending on how much of the pie you were able to generate for your business. So a retraction of 13% this year on last year probably puts us back into a normative growth pattern if you trace back to 2019 and would draw a line through towards about 4% growth annually, which is pretty consistent for our industry. A couple of interesting new things coming out. Genuine lead generation for pool builders. I spent a few years, many years ago, working in the solar PV industry. That industry for the retailers there really did rely on lead generation, finding customers, consumers who wanted to part with some money and invest in putting PV on their roof. And that's a process to filter out who's the genuine buyer, and it's no different with buying a pool. We haven't had a system, a one-stop shop, trusted one-stop shop for consumers to go to. Well, we do now. Of course, it's got to be presented by the industry association. Otherwise, it ends up being biased, and it's got to create trust for a consumer, which i.e. is membership of the industry association, being SPASA. So there's an article on page 10 about this new lead generation for pool builders. This is something I've been wanting to see for years because I know how successful it was back in those solar PV days for me. I am genuinely excited about this. If you are running a business and you need genuine quotes, then get on board here. It is going to be the cheapest generation for leads that you will ever have if you are currently looking at your cost of acquisition for leads and new pools. You should know how much it's costing you by the time you put in all of your parameters. It adds up significantly. Well, SPASA, the lead generation for their pool quotes and spa quotes page is it's pretty flipping exciting. I suspect you should be interested in reaching out. You don't want to miss that. Again, I know just how important that was to our business when we were doing the PV stuff, as I keep saying. The leads from an industry association rather than a self-driven, motivated, for-profit business is a big, big difference that an association centered on reaching a consumer on behalf of you for a fee that is far cheaper than you trying to do it yourself. If it's all working like it should, which I believe it is. It looks excellent. I've had a play on the site. It looks like it's absolutely brilliant. I love the branding. I love the look and the feel of it. And no doubt that will build in, I suppose, in quantity and quality over time. But I'd be jumping on board now if I'm a business looking for quotes, knowing how much they cost, or leads, knowing how much they cost to generate, as it is right now. Introducing the Zodiac Freerider Cordless Pool Cleaner, the ultimate solution for hassle-free pool maintenance. Say goodbye to cumbersome cords and tangled hoses. This innovative pool cleaner effortlessly navigates all pool surfaces, ensuring a thorough clean every time. Its powerful suction and scrubbing brushes remove dirt, leaves, and debris, trapping all the mess in its dual filtration basket. Experience the convenience and efficiency of the Zodiac Freerider Cordless Pool Cleaner today. Visit our website to learn more. Zodiac Freerider, unleashed cleaning power. Look, while we're on consumer-focused things, consumer shows have been running. There is one coming up in Brisbane this weekend. I look forward to being there. I adore being at the consumer shows. It's a strange word, isn't it? But I do. I actually have an adoration for it and an admiration watching consumers come in and deal with the professionals in our industry towards making decisions that are going to make their life better. It's what we do. It's what we do awesomely well. And you see it best at these consumer shows. Report out recently that it looks like somewhere between 25 and 30% of all pools sold in this country are done through consumer show deals. So we are very, very effective as an industry when we get in front of a consumer. We attract a consumer to come in to a competitive room, speak to all of us, and jump on board with one of us and change their future. Also, coming up, you've all, as an industry, by now finished, I don't know, a month, 6 weeks ago, maybe a little more. The year's disappearing super fast. All of your awards nominations for the Industry Awards of Excellence. Those events are coming up. I suggest that you get onto spasawards.com.au. Tickets are selling out for those events. It was only a matter of years ago that we had a handful of events and maybe sort of 150 to 250 people. These things are selling out now as more and more industry gets involved in wanting recognition for the work you do to be able to promote the industry and, of course, to the mummies and daddies and communities of our respective countries in Australia and g'day New Zealand. Make sure you book in for that. Bring your team. It's a fabulous night of nights, and I would say not to be missed. Well, Well, I'm not going to bother doing the song, but we do have the top 5 online news stories as well. The number one still, well, not number one, sorry, one of the top 5. They're in no particular order. They're not weighted in any way. They just are. But the first one that I'll refer to, still generating a lot of interest around industry, and I can understand why, was the announcement of Valentina Tripp, who was appointed Managing Director of Fluidra APAC after Stephen Matachak Matazak. I've heard many pronunciations on his name. Stephen, please forgive the poor pronunciation here, but 32-year Fluidra veteran, has done incredible things within Fluidra, moved on from that role, and Valentina Tripp replacing him. So that's number one. 500 pools, public pools, may close if we don't get significant investment. This is a story that has been bouncing around for a few years in various iterations as things get more and more serious, that there is a chunk of money that needs to be spent around community to get these pools up to scratch. So many public facility pools were built post-World War II in the 50s and 60s that are now in need of some refurbishment, some love, some regeneration and re-engagement too from communities. Something that we can all play a part in. The next story is Waterco, the beneficiary of David Daft coming to join there as a product training manager. Best of luck to David in that role as well. Number 4, sad news with Diamond Pool and Spas, Helen Strangos, who passed away a few months ago as well, generated some readership and interest. Obviously, our beloved industry people, when they pass on, we do care as an industry. And concerns raised over, this is the final top 5 of the online news stories, concerns raised over cryptosporidiosis outbreaks. There have been 5 times the number of cryptosporidiosis cases than usual earlier this year. Obviously something that's been a story that we've looked at as well. Make sure you get on, well, obviously that is the story because it's in the top 5 online news stories. Have a look at that story and make yourself aware of what's happening there. Plenty, of course, to read and always catch up on around the Splash Media universe. Summer is now here, and our friends at Pentair, one of Australia's largest pool equipment suppliers and manufacturers, are ready to help pool owners around the nation get their pools ready for everyone to enjoy. Family and friends can swim their way through summer and enjoy everything the backyard swimming pool has to offer. Who needs to go away on an expensive holiday to enjoy time with friends and family? Time at home, making great memories in your own backyard swimming pool means no driving, no packing, and no stress. It's the best staycation around. Choose only the best. A pool powered by Pentair. As discussed earlier, we've had a conversation with Europe Imports' Carl Yench in New South Wales. I met with him recently at his office in Sydney to talk about all things silica and the ban coming up of July 1 this year on engineered stone, the impact that might be having on business, on industry, on consumers, and how the industry is innovating forward in light of that. Let's go to that interview now. Carl, as of July 1, there's a change with engineered stone in this country, regulations and rules. What are your thoughts on that? Overreach or a good response? And how does that affect our industry forward and your business, mate?
Yeah, thanks, David. In my opinion, I think it's good to be at the forefront of these type of things. I mean, we've obviously had things like asbestosis in the past, and that rings very strong within the Australian industry. And a lot of people are, concerned about these types of health issues, and we've seen it throughout our healthcare system for many years now.
Correct.
So it's been a long-standing problem, and I think to be at the forefront of changes in the industry is very important. And I think it's a good thing to show the rest of the world, and I think we'll start to see people make changes around the world because of it.
Does it impact on your business directly? What does it look like for you, for your staff?
Well, it's interesting because they've jumped the gun so quickly, David, that we don't have everything in place yet, but it's coming. So we don't have a requirement right now to state what the silica rating is or the content is for porcelain tiles or natural stone or anything like that. It's just that engineered stone has such a high percentage of silica that this is the main problem, and this is where we're going to see the main health issues come from that made the ban so quickly. But there's a lot of regulation to follow, and I think that's going to look like classifications on certain products, whether it be low, medium or high risk or whatever, but we don't know what's around the corner at the moment, and we're waiting to find out still.
And being a good employer, I know you see your employees here like family. Obviously, you'll be making those changes and looking after your staff. And I would assume maybe you already have been in some of the work practices.
Yeah, so with us, I mean, we don't do a lot of the material handling, cutting. We do some cutting downstairs. We ensure that the guys, this is just for sample purposes, so it's not a great deal, but we ensure that they're wearing all the correct PPE and handling the products and ensuring that we're using wet cutters and everything like that. So we do what we can within the business to ensure safety of the employees. But yeah, I think it's more important for us as a company to look at what we're doing for the industry. So we've reached out to our suppliers to talk to them about silica content for each of the products so that we can specify the content in our spec sheets for whether it be natural stone, whether it be porcelain, whether it be glass mosaic. And we need to, we want to be at the forefront of this before the regulations come out. We want to have this in place.
Yeah. So although it's been a quick implementation as of July 1, your view in the industry is it's the right move?
Yes. A very difficult move for a lot of companies. There's some businesses out there that are going to suffer a lot because of this. But we've already started to see around the world changes being made, even just being at the stone fair over in China, the Xiamen Stone Fair. They have a whole hall there dedicated to engineered stone. And there were many companies there that were promoting silica-free engineered stone, and a lot of porcelain companies that are producing now large format porcelain. Right now everyone's pivoting to using porcelain or using natural stone. Natural stone being the premium, where it's every piece is unique. The porcelain there's only a couple of prints for each piece, but still both products are suitable. Silica content is very low, right? Depending on the material, obviously. But yeah, I think in the near future, we're going to see the engineered stone come back, but in a silica-free version.
Okay. So technology will be innovative and change in the future.
Yes, it has. It's already started. Yeah. It has. And, part of the problem has been the stock that they actually have of these engineered stones, because the ban has happened so quickly. A lot of these companies had forecasted a lot of use of the materials over the coming years, so that they keep really big stock levels. So what I'd heard while I was over there is that there was an overstock that they need to solve. Yeah. And the development of the new materials, the cost of the materials was still quite high, but over time, I assume that will come down.
Well, Carl, thank you for your thoughts and your time. Do keep a lookout for Europe Imports at the Splash Trade Show coming up in August. Make sure you're booked in for that. Carl, thank you for your time.
You're welcome, David.
Dive into savings with EcoStar, Australia's most efficient 7-star pump from Hayward. EcoStar variable speed pump maximises performance while minimising energy costs. With cutting-edge technology, EcoStar circulates water quietly and seamlessly, ensuring a sparkling pool every dip. Say goodbye to high bills and hello to the ultimate in pool pump efficiency. Upgrade today and make a splash with the EcoStar, where performance meets savings. Visit au.hayward.com or call now to discover EcoStar, the pinnacle of pool pump efficiency from Hayward. There is a detailed article in the new issue 153 of the Splash magazine coming across your desk like it did mine. That's going to be found on page 12. In fact, right above the top 5 online news stories. So we've given big coverage to page 12. Hasn't that been a favourite today? Page 12. Look, a couple of other things I want to draw your attention to. One is a feature story. I found a really good read around design of beautiful spaces and places that incorporate swimming pools, and in order to make them beautiful, to truly make them beautiful, they must include a swimming pool and or spa. And that was with a conversation Splash recently had with the National Professional of the Year, Steve Taylor. He's the principal at COS Designs, and we take a little bit of a look into his journey into pool and landscape design and the challenges and opportunities around for 2024 from a business perspective, marketing perspective, and obviously from a design and industry pool and spa build perspective too. I found that a really worthwhile article. I encourage you to have a look at it. Also, I would be remiss if I don't stop you getting ROHMO, which is the regret of having missed out. Oh yeah, I know you know about FOMO, the fear of missing out. Well, sometimes you can underrate undervalue, not significantly put enough thought into the fear of missing out. And when you then do miss out and you hear what an amazing thing you've missed out on, well, it's too late. You don't have the fear of missing out. You have missed out. It is the regret of having missed out, or as I have termed, ROHMO. And I don't want you to have ROHMO. So how can you avoid having ROHMO? Well, it's to do with the biggest single industry event in the Southern Hemisphere ever, and that is the Splash Trade Expo. Get yourself to splash.online/Expo, EXPO, yes, Expo. Get registered. Hundreds and hundreds of you are already registered. It's a full house of exhibitors. It's a full house of innovation and showcasing of amazing new product. It is a week that is full of opportunities for you to invest in networking, connection, growth, and decisions for your business future. If you're not there, well, I would question your commitment to both your business, to your professional development, and the willingness to want to continue to grow and be at the cutting edge. This is a not miss event, and I cannot wait to be there. Cannot wait to see you there. Get on board, get registered, get your accommodation booked now too. Look forward to seeing you there at Splash. And until next time, when we get back together on this podcast, or I see you out and about, ready, set, splash.